Hello, Nicole Steckline here, technical agronomist for the Calvin Asgrow in Northeast Iowa. And what a June and July we've been having in this area when it comes to strong storms. We've had a lot of strong storms with straight line winds, hail events, and a few tornadoes as well. So what does this mean for our corn crop? In particular, walking around in fields, I've been seeing quite a bit of green snap related to the storms that we've had in the last week and a half. So why does a corn plant green snap? Now, obviously, there are some genetics out there that are more likely to snap, but the most important thing about green snap is timing. Timing during the day, timing of the storm, if the wind came early, before the rain or after the rain, and then timing in the growth stage of the corn. So the two times during the corn's life that it's going to be the most susceptible to green snap are times of rapid growth. When we have a lot of cells that are growing in that meristematic region, in the nodes, there's that meristematic tissue, and that's where the cells are growing and splitting very rapidly. And these cells, as cells age, they accumulate more lignin, which gives them more structure and strength. So the cells in between here are older, and so they have more strength because they have more lignin. These cells right at each of the nodes has the meristematic cells in there, and those are younger cells. They have less lignin, and they're more likely to snap. So this happens during times of very rapid growth. So when do we have the most rapid growth? This would be between V5 and V8, when that growing point's kind of right at the soil, so that it can snap very easily because there's a lot of meristematic tissue in that region. Also, it's growing very rapidly because we're really just starting to get our nodal roots developed, and they're hitting a lot of those nutrients and a lot of nitrogen. It's been found in Nebraska by a study that higher rates of nitrogen and therefore higher yield potential is very well correlated to the amount of green snap, just because those plants are growing at a faster rate. The other time when we are more prone to green snap is at V10 to R2. And again, we're having very rapid growth. And those plants are also taller. They have more leaf area, so they're catching a lot more wind. So we get to the point where we're at now, we're getting very close to tassel. And typically, we're going to see that snap happen at the node just above the ear leaf, if not at the ear leaf node. So we've got that meristematic region at the node with cells growing very rapidly. So then we've also got, what time of day did this wind occur? We are more likely to have plants snapping off if the wind event happens early in the morning. So if you think about those cells, they've just pulled up a lot of water during the overnight hours, and so they're full of water, they're full of turgor pressure, which makes them more brittle. And they aren't experiencing any of the drought stress, the demands of the environment for that water, so then they're less flexible, more likely to snap. The other timing effect is during the storm. Is it the straight line winds that come in with the front, or is it after a rain event? So if we've had rain before the wind comes in and those soils have been loosened, then we can get some flexibility and some bending at the soil surface. When Iowa State did their study to determine the yield effects of green snap on corn, they did it at 3 different times: V8, VT, and R2. And what they found was that the staging wasn't near as important as the number of plants that were affected. So at the 25% level of plants being snapped, they saw a 15% yield reduction. If 50% of plants were snapped, it was a 30% yield reduction. And at a 75% level of plants being snapped off, it was a 53% reduction in yield. So I hope this helps if you guys are out evaluating any green snap fields. And as always, call with questions.